Is Pokemon investing even worth it? Let's get into it. What's going on, guys? This is your boy Raxy and welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, look fellas, real quick, you might be wondering, why do I have a Sea and Skybox just completely propped up there? Look fellas, if you're in the Puerto Rico area, May 24th, May 25th, I will be vending there at Collectorama. I do have a booth. I'll put a picture up right here, right now. Check me out. I do have a bunch of stuff to sell. I have some 151. I got some Blooming Waters. I got some mini tins. I got some Sea and Skies. A slew of cards as well, some slabs as well, and some prismatic as well. So make sure to tune in for that. Make sure to come over to my table and let's make a deal together. So yeah, let's get on to the video. Look fellas, we're gathered here today to answer the age-old question, is Pokemon investing even really worth it? Let's first start with the pros and then with the cons. Let's start with the pros. Is better than your traditional investments. Look, you'll see that Pokemon investing, Pokemon booster boxes, especially the good booster boxes, outperform traditional investments year in, year out. If you compare the 401k and also one Evolving Skies, for example, you'll see that Evolving Skies has gone up almost 2 or 3 times this year alone. But if you look at 401ks, it does take a long time for it to actually reach 2x or even 5x, like a lot of these boxes. A lot of these boxes are way faster, especially the old ones. They appreciate better. So that's one pro. Another pro is that it's better than crypto. If we compare Bitcoin and Evolving Skies, yes, I will bring up Evolving Skies a lot. As we can see, Bitcoin on the year is up 68%. However, Evolving Skies, as we can look at the graph right here, it's at 133% on the year. However, that's counting if it's on the market on 1,600, but most recent sales are close to $2,000. Therefore, it's higher than that 133% that we previously stated. Therefore, on the year alone, it's better than Bitcoin. And ever since the start of the year, Bitcoin has only gone up 10% since January. However, Evolving Skies is up around 50%, but again, the market price still says 1,600, so it's definitely a lot higher if it takes into consideration the $2,000 sales. Another pro, fellas, is that it's easy money, to be honest. All you have to do is buy the product and sit on it, put it in a closet, put it in a shelf, like how I do, put it in like your table, put it in your desk. All you have to do is just buy it and sit on it. All you need is patience and time, fellas. Remember that. This is not just for Pokemon cards. You need this for life. You need patience and time. When it comes to booster boxes, everything goes up over time. Even ETB, sealed product, tends to just go up over time no matter what. However, when it comes to cards, they tend to go up a lot and also go down a lot. Cards are mostly determined on the actual market itself, how they feel, how the people feel, how people feel about this card, not the actual box. The box is solely based on the cards that are inside and also the rarity of them as well. And even a terrible set like Emerging Powers can be a $6,000 booster box, which it is, simply because it's rare and old enough. It gets to the point where it's just a collectible. It doesn't even matter what cards are inside. Another point is that it's genuinely kind of easy to sell. Look, fellas, when you want to sell and you want to offload a bunch of things, you have a bunch of options. You have eBay, you have conventions, you have TCG Player, and it's relatively easy. And there's also people that are willing to buy out your entire collection for a certain percentage, 70%, 80%. And so on. The most common is that you'll find around 60 to 80%, which you might think that's a whole chunk of percentage based on the market, right? But depending on how much your investments have grown, that 20% or 30% you're losing doesn't seem too much if you're already up 200, 300%. That's typically for people, vendors. They tend to buy at a straight percentage, like 70% or 75%. And a lot of stores will buy around 60 to 70%. However, you can also go through the trouble of putting it up on auction. You can put it on auction on like these big eBay guys that buy your stuff and give you a big check right after they sell it. Or you can just sell it yourself on an auction, create your own account. Or when you're starting out, when it comes to investing, you can start an eBay account or a TCG Player account and actually start building up that account. You can start selling some small things, try to get those reviews up, gotta get some positive feedback so you can be more credible once you actually sell very expensive things here in 5 to 10 years. Because a lot of times people tend to overpay or pay more than what market is when the seller is really trustable, simply because they have that confidence and that security that they're getting it from an actual good seller and a trustable seller. Another profile is that it's relatively easy to predict. Look, booster boxes tend to have a 2-year cycle where anywhere anywhere in those 2 years, 2 to 3 years, they could get reprinted. So things could go down, things could go up, and a lot of times they get super up, and then they get reprinted and they go back down. However, after those 2 years, you can pretty much expect a full ride to the top right. Most booster boxes after that 2 year mark, even sometimes that 1.5 year mark, especially like sets like 151 and Crown Zenith, sometimes not even 2 years old, they tend to go up, right? Kind of predicting that they're not gonna get reprinted, or kind of preparing for another reprint. This happened with Lost Origin, a bunch of the Sword and Shield sets like about a year and a half ago, where they started to go up, and then they got reprinted and they started going down. But then they very quickly, after 3 months or so, they got back up to where they were before, and then they were higher than what they were before as well. And you might say, but Rax, only things go up because we're in a bull market, because everyone wants things. No, not necessarily. Booster boxes tend to go up no matter what the market is asking, simply because people are buying and opening, even if it's at a slower rate, and booster boxes tend to be more scarce as time goes on. So you can pretty much guarantee that after a 2 year mark, a set, especially a really good set like Evolving Skies, 151, Prismatic, Crown Zenith, all those will explode in price, and have been exploding in price depending on which one, literally right after that 2 year mark. It counts a 2 year and it's already boosting up double or even triple, just like Crown Zenith ETBs. Another pro is that you can diversify in pretty much whatever you want. You can buy literally almost whatever you want, and over time it will go up no matter what. Obviously there's some things that go up higher and go up faster than other things. Like I said in a previous video, usually the best sets will go up first and then everything else will follow. If the king doesn't move, then how do you expect his subordinates to follow? Shout out to Lelouch. If you don't have that much money and you're investing in sleeved packs of Fusion Strike, you best believe those will go up right after the booster boxes go up, right after the ETBs go up, and right after everything else goes up. Because sleeve booster packs tend to be one of the final things to go up. However, guess what? They still go up no matter what. So you can kind of diversify in a lot of things. You can get Evolving Skies, you can get Fusion Strike, you can get Silver Tempest, you can get so many things, and they will still go up over time. And the final pro is that good sets will always stay afloat no matter what. Look, fellas, when it comes to good sets, no matter how many reprints or how much stock is there in the market, if it's a really good set and people really love ripping this set and love the cards, collecting the set, it will stay afloat and it will stay pretty expensive no matter what. And it will be mostly the leaders of an era. Take an example to Evolving Skies, Team Up, and now Prismatic. Look, Team Up is a little bit of an exception because it was short printed and it did not get a reprint as well. However, Evolving Skies was not short printed at all and it was reprinted. However, it's kind of outperforming Team Up on the year. Therefore, that means if a set is really good, doesn't matter how many reprints it gets hit with, it will go up over time no matter what. Let's get into the cons. Look, the first con, fellas, is that it can be pretty expensive. You know, if you really wanted a booster box, if you really want a specific booster box, even when they were for like $100 per booster box back about a year ago, that's a lot of money. Look, $100 is nothing to scoff at. If you have a minimum wage job, you have to work at least more than 10 hours just to make $100 so you can buy one booster box. One booster box. That is a lot of money for just one booster box. A lot of work for one booster box. So, and that was back then. Now, getting a booster box at these prices, the best deal you will get is MSRP, especially right now when everything is trying to buy everything. Everyone's trying to buy everything up. Getting things, your best deal right now is MSRP, which is $161, which is at least 60% more than what it was a couple years ago compared to previous bear markets. But like I said before, you don't have to buy booster boxes. You can buy ETBs, you can buy 3-pack blisters, or even sleeve packs. All those will also go up over time no matter what, albeit not at the same rate as a booster box, but you have to play with the cards you get. Another con is that right now it's pretty hard to get product/deals. Look, fellas, we all know about PokeNotify. It kind of feels like now you need to have PokeNotify, or also Twitter notifications, or even sometimes bots of getting to even have a shot. Pokemon Center ETBs, restocks, or everything in between. Look, especially like the SPC drop that happened yesterday in Walmart. Oh my god, that was eaten up by bots like crazy. And also that there's low supply everywhere. You know, card shops aren't getting too many. You know, big box stores like Best Buy, Walmart it feels like they're getting very little supply, very little allocations. Every allocation just keeps getting cut in half. cut in half. You know, people are camping overnight or multiple days before they even have a job. Like, I get overnight a couple hours before, but multiple days, at that point, I'd rather pay market. Like, come on, let's be real. And just like other people like you trying to invest, other people are investing as well and or hoarding product. Therefore, it makes it harder for you to get said product. But a lot of times you just have to do your due diligence. I know sometimes it sucks missing out. I've missed out on a lot of things. I still don't have one SPC. Like, what are we doing? Look, fellas, and it's okay to miss out. There'll be other opportunities. There'll be other things to buy in the future. So you don't have to FOMO, or you don't have to pay market price before a product that hasn't even released yet. All you have to do is calm down, be patient, and you'll get your time. Your train will happen. Your train will pass your station. Another con, fellas, that it could get printed into the ground, but not really, because it doesn't really matter. Look at Crown Zenith, fellas. That was dead stock for years. About 2 years, there was ETBs in stock in Best Buy and GameStop for 2 years, and a lot of people were calling it a dead stock. A lot of people are saying this will never appreciate in value. This will be here for years and years and years. It's literally everywhere until it's not. Look, fellas, like I said, it's everywhere until it's not. Everyone thinks that it's dead stock until it starts to not be dead stock, until it starts to fizzle out, and they're like, wait, I kind of want that. The moment when people start to panic about something or people start to flock into it, that's when you know it's about to blow. This happened with Crown Zenith. It was in GameStop for months and for years, and look at it now, it's over $150 per ETB. These were sitting in shelves for years, and you could get them in the market for under $40, and even Black Friday deals for under $30. Under $30 in ETB, and right now it's 150. So that's why if it gets printed to the ground, even better, because now you can stock up on it even more. Same with 151. 151 has been getting constant restocks, constant blooming waters, constant mini tins, constant booster bundles. And look where it still is. It's still at like $60 per booster bundle. Like, that's kind of crazy. $200 ETB. Like, it's still a very expensive set, even after all these restocks. Same with Prismatic. Prismatic, I do think it's going to go down a lot more due to how new it is. You know, there still could be a chance where we get a huge reprint of Prismatic, but we just don't know yet. Another con, fellas, is that it's kind of looked down upon. You know, real collectors will tell you these cards are for children, but look, fellas, it's a collectible. A lot of times, who are the people that are waiting in line at Best Buy? Who are the people waiting in line at Pokemon Center buying these subscriptions for Pokemon Center or like notifications? These aren't children. Children aren't constantly ripping packs all the time. Children do, but here's the thing, this is essentially gambling. So you're kind of teaching your kid how to gamble, which I'm pretty sure is illegal somewhere. However, this type of flack only comes from non-investors and people that fail to get the product that they want. No one cared about people buying tons and tons of inventory when it was dirt cheap, when it was in Costco for like $20 in ETB, when you could get booster boxes sub $100, even sub $90. No one batted an eye. But now, once things are scarce and everyone wants a piece of that pie, now it's a problem. And last but not least, the final con, sometimes it's hard to sell. Whoa, Rax, didn't you just say it was easy to sell? Yes, of course I did, but I mean at market in person. Look, if you're trying to sell Evolving Skies booster box for $2,000 in person, maybe, or even above market, maybe not a lot of people will message you about it. If you don't know, guys, market, when you sell things on eBay and TCG Player, you don't get that full price. You don't get the full price that it sells at. If you put an auction for a Bubble Mew and it sells for $800, like a PSA 10, $800, you will not get those $800 straight to your bank account. There's fees, then there's also shipping costs for every website. eBay, TCG Player, they all take a portion of what is sold at. Typically, it's like 14%, 12% around that point. So if you sell things online, you will typically get less than what you actually sold it for. That's why it's better and more advised for you to sell things under market in person. It's easier for you to move product and get your money out if you put it down like 10%. Which is still more than what you would get if you sell it on eBay. Let's say you have a Rayquaza VMAX PSA 10, right? And you sell it and it sells on eBay for $1,000. You will not get $1,000 back. You will not get $900 back. You will probably get like minus 14%. You'll get 860. You'll get around 800 and something. So if you put it on Facebook Marketplace, like a local sell or at a convention, and you put it for 950, most likely people will try and get to you because it's $50 under market. So it gives people more of a reason to go to you and buy your stuff because it's more of a deal. It works out for you and it works out for the other person as well. However, if you have a table or a store at a convention, it's more acceptable for you to think to have things at market because you're more trustworthy. Like, you already paid for the table, so people are willing to fork over an extra $1 just because you paid to be here. You have to pay for the table. However, bonus cons, if it catches on fire or water, then you are screwed. It's over, it's done. If any of this catches on fire, I lose thousands of dollars just like that, and it's GG. So let's answer the question, is it worth it or is it not? Look, fellas, yes it is. It's really worth it. The pros outweigh the cons by so much that you shouldn't even think about it. You should just go on ahead and buy your stuff and hold on to it for a long time, fellas. Have fun with it. Meet some friends, meet people online, meet people in person, because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. You know, a lot of this, all this investing thing is fun, but it can get kind of boring, especially if you're doing it alone. However, have fun with it. Meet people, meet like-minded people that want to see you grow, people that want to see you improve, and stick to them and hold them dear to you, because there's a lot of people that want to see you fail, but you shouldn't let that distract you from reaching your goals. The people that really care about you will be around you to support you no matter what. So yeah, guys, that's my main takeaway. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.